Who really built the pyramids? The truth behind history's greatest mysteries stand at the base of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and you'll feel it, that visceral impossibility. Over 2.3 million limestone blocks, some weighing 80 tons, stacked with such precision that you can't slide a credit card between the stones. Built 4,500 years ago, when humans supposedly had copper tools and wooden sledges. Your rational mind rebels. How? This single question has spawned one of history's most persistent debates, fracturing into two camps that couldn't be more different. Those who see ancient aliens and lost technologies, and those who see ingenious human engineering. But here's what makes this mystery so intoxicating. Both sides have legitimate points that keep you awake at night. The case that breaks your brain. Let's start with the facts that fuel the conspiracy theorists, because honestly, they're staggering. The Great Pyramid was the tallest structure on Earth for 3,800 years. It's aligned to true north with an accuracy of 3/60th of a single degree more precise than the Royal Observatory at Greenwich, built in 1675. The base is level to within 2.1 centimeters across its 230-meter width. In the 1880s, when British engineer Flinders Petrie measured it with the best Victorian instruments available, he was shocked. The ancient Egyptians had out-engineered the British Empire. But wait, it gets stranger. The three pyramids of Giza align almost perfectly with Orion's belt. The southern shaft of the King's Chamber points directly at where Orion's belt would have been in 2500 BCE. Coincidence? The mathematical constants are equally unnerving. Divide the pyramid's perimeter by its height, and you get 2 pi to 99.98% accuracy. The pyramid's height multiplied by 43,200 approximates Earth's polar radius. Its base perimeter multiplied by 43,200 approximates Earth's equatorial circumference. Here's the hook that conspiracy theorists love. The ancient Egyptians had no written records of how they built the pyramids. None. No blueprints, no construction manuals, no pharaoh boasting about the revolutionary techniques his engineers invented. For a civilization that documented everything from tax records to recipes for bread, this silence is deafening. When ancient astronauts enter the chat, enter Eric von Däniken, whose 1968 book, Chariots of the Gods, sold 70 million copies and launched 1,000 History Channel shows. His argument? Extraterrestrial beings visited Earth and either built the pyramids themselves or gave humans the technology to do it. The ancient alien theory points to intriguing evidence, Egyptian hieroglyphs at Abydos, that supposedly show helicopters and submarines. Strange elongated skulls found in Egypt. Depictions of the Egyptian god Thoth, described as bringing knowledge from the stars. The dendrolite reliefs that look suspiciously like modern electrical equipment. And perhaps most compellingly, the sheer impossibility of the construction timeline. According to mainstream archaeology, the Great Pyramid took about 20 years to build. Do the math. That's placing one 2.5-ton block every 2 to 3 minutes, 24 hours a day for 2 decades. Even with modern cranes and trucks, that's a logistical nightmare. The conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but the alien theory is just the beginning. Other theories propose that the pyramids were built by survivors of Atlantis, possessing advanced technology lost to history. Some claim the Egyptians had electricity, batteries, the Baghdad battery, and even flight pointing to models found in tombs that allegedly resemble gliders. Then there's the acoustic levitation theory, that ancient priests knew sound frequencies that could make stones weightless. It sounds absurd until you learn that modern scientists have successfully levitated small objects using acoustic waves. Could the Egyptians have mastered this on a massive scale? Fringe researchers point to legends across cultures about stones being moved by sound from Tibetan monks' talis to the walls of Jericho. The most tantalizing theory? That the pyramids are far older than we think, built during a previous advanced civilization 10,000 or more years ago, with the Egyptians simply inheriting and repurposing them. After all, there's water erosion on the Sphinx that some geologists argue could only have occurred during a much wetter climate, thousands of years before the traditional dating. But here's where it gets really interesting now. Take everything I just told you and prepare to have it dismantled by actual evidence. Because while the conspiracy theories make for great television, archaeologists and engineers have been quietly uncovering the truth, and it's almost more impressive than aliens. In the 1990s, archaeologist Mark Lenner and his team discovered the workers' village near the Giza Plateau. Not slave quarters, actual workers housing with bakeries, breweries, and a medical facility where workers received treatment for construction injuries. They found thousands of cattle bones, evidence of protein-rich diets, graffiti from work crews competing with each other, the drunkards of Menkar and the friends of Khufu. These weren't slaves or alien-controlled automatons. They were skilled workers, probably rotating shifts of farmers during the Nile's flood season when agriculture was impossible. The tomb of Khufu's overseer, Hamunu, contains his actual title, overseer of all construction projects of the king, not guy who talked to aliens. His tomb shows mathematical calculations and architectural planning, human engineering at work. The ingenious truth, here's where the real magic happens. Modern engineers through experimental archaeology have replicated Egyptian construction techniques and they work. The stones weren't dragged across sand. Recent research by physicist Daniel Bond proved that wetting sand reduces the friction needed to pull heavy objects by 50%. The Egyptians knew this wall paintings show workers pouring water in front of sledges. It's not high technology. It's brilliant observation of material physics. The ramps? A 2007 study by French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin proposed an internal ramp system spiraling inside the pyramid, explaining both the construction method and certain architectural anomalies detected by modern imaging. Traditional external ramps wouldn't work for the higher levels, but an internal system? Perfectly feasible. The precision cutting? Experiments by stonemason Roger Hopkins showed that copper tools, combined with quartz sand and abrasive, could cut limestone effectively. Add copper saws used with sand and you can cut granite. Is it slow? Yes. Impossible? Absolutely not. The alignment to true north? The Egyptians could have used the stars, specifically tracking the circular path of stars around the North Celestial Pole over a night. Simple, elegant, no lasers required. The mathematics mystery dissolved that pi ratio. It emerges naturally if you use a rolling drum to measure and mark distances, a common Egyptian surveying technique. You're not encoding advanced mathematics. You're accidentally creating it through your measurement tools. The Earth dimensions encoded in the pyramid, cherry-picked measurements using modern units the Egyptians didn't have. Use Egyptian royal cubits, and the mystical ratios vanish. The real conspiracy. But here's the twist that should make you pause. Why do we find it so hard to believe humans built the pyramids? This is where the conspiracy theory reveals something darker about us. When European explorers first saw African monuments, they attributed them to anyone but Africans, Phoenicians, Romans, aliens, anyone. The assumption that ancient non-Western peoples couldn't have possessed sophisticated engineering knowledge is itself a kind of conspiracy, one of cultural bias that lasted centuries. The Egyptians left us their construction methods in plain sight. Unfinished obelisks still attached to bedrock show us their quarrying techniques. Hieroglyphs describe the organization of workers. Tomb paintings show construction methods. The conspiracy isn't that we don't know how they did it, it's that we refuse to believe they could. What history really teaches us, the truth is more wondrous than fiction. The pyramids represent 4,500 years of human ambition, organization, and ingenuity. They were built by thousands of workers over decades, using techniques refined over generations, in a society that had spent centuries building progressively more ambitious structures. The Bent Pyramid and the Red Pyramid of Dashur. Those are Egypt's beta tests, showing the engineering evolution that led to Giza. The pyramids don't need ancient aliens to be miraculous. They're miraculous because they represent what humans can achieve when knowledge, resources, and determination align. Every stone is a testament not to extraterrestrial intervention, but to the most powerful force in history. Human innovation driven by an absolute refusal to accept limitations. So who really built the pyramids? We did. Humans, with nothing more than copper, stone, rope, knowledge passed through generations, and the kind of audacious vision that looked at a desert plateau and said, let's build something that will outlast time itself. And you know what? We succeeded. That's the real mystery worth celebrating.